Jack stared ahead in terror. He quickly ducked into the water holding his breath completely still. Then a pair of massive feet appeared right in front of him. What happened next was so terrifying it left him frozen. Jack opened his mouth in shock. Eddie peeked out from behind a tree curious to see what was going on. He was horrified by the giant monster standing before him. But just as he stared too long, the giant seemed to catch his scent. Panicking, Eddie ducked back behind the tree. But it was too late. The giant had already noticed him. He ripped the entire tree out of the ground. And for a second they just stared at each other. Then Eddie realized he had to run. But the giant took just 2 big steps and smacked Eddie unconscious with one swipe. Just as he was about to walk away with Eddie in hand, the captain charged in, sword drawn. He stabbed the giant right in the ankle. The giant turned back and looked. Then with a simple kick, the captain was knocked into a rock and passed out cold. The giant pulled the sword out of his foot, then picked up both of them and started walking off. Jack could only watch helplessly as his friends were taken away. The giant turned and left with his prey. Jack quickly ducked back underwater. Luckily the giant didn't notice him. He passed right by. Once the coast was clear, Jack quietly followed behind, looking for a chance to rescue his friends. Meanwhile, somewhere else, 3 others were crossing a cliffside. John pretended to spot the princess, calling Stanley over to take a look. Then when Stanley wasn't paying attention, John shoved him right off the cliff. As they celebrated their evil plan, a giant hand suddenly grabbed the psychopath and shoved him into its mouth. John stood there frozen in fear, completely unaware. An even worse danger was creeping up behind him.